human hearts, band together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, did you wanna get? Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions, idle champions, idle champions, idle champions.
Hey! Idle champions!
That's all I can do.
Hey, how's it going?
All good.
Wow. Yet another instance where when we go live, even though it was just working fine, the image disappeared. This is
Hey, look at that.
yeah.
Hey,
Or
you know
don't
what? You
look
don't.
at that.
One button fixed. Thank
Hey!
God. Good Lord.
Hey!
I like that. I like that quick fix. Congratulations.
Hello. Welcome to a very special Bardic Inspiration listening party. I am your scribe, usually, I guess, co-host now, Dylan. I am joined by the bard, Mr. Jason Charles Miller, coming to us remote from a studio.
Central Command Studios.
And
This is where I recorded everything.
and we are joined by our own Obo Lauren.
An enthusiastic fan.
Yeah, and we're gonna listen to an album that is actually, I realize it's now available. It's probably been available for like a half hour or an hour, or it's like slowly rolling out. So there are some folks who may have even started listening to it all already. But
But Lauren hasn't.
but Lauren hasn't.
So I know the track. Excuse me. I know the track list. I heard the Demogorgon yesterday, and I've heard about 7 seconds of one other song, and that's it. And
Well,
it
that's
has
good.
been
That's good.
incredibly hard to avoid.
And that's my fault because I sent her 7 seconds of the song. Like weeks ago. Just to be like, ha ha ha, here's a little snippet. That's all you get.
And then there was much text rejoicing, and Dylan said to me, you know, how would you like to just not listen to the rest of it and be prepared to react on stream? And I said, well, first off, that's going to be incredibly difficult. Second, now I get to do a Lauren Reacts stream. I am now
Yeah.
a true internet person.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You are.
you know, you're on stream with the person who has listened to it the most. Wait, no, pointing that way up, and the person at Codename who's probably listened to it the most. So it's I was like, even though the first time I listened to a lot of these, like some of them I got pretty emotional the first time I hear it, and like now I'm much more stoic because I've listened to it a lot, but I still love it. And Jason, did you freeze? Okay, for a second there it looked like you froze.
I just froze.
I was like, oh no.
I was reading chat and I made like a weird face.
I mean, that's what happens when you're just reacting to things, right? Is
Yeah.
eventually you get that face.
Yeah. Anyways, we thought it would be really, really fun when we were putting this together, and we were talking about the Year's End Festival. We were talking about when we can talk about Bardic Inspiration Volume 2. We didn't want to be talking about it at the same time as all the Trials of Mount Tiamat stuff because there was a lot. And we knew that the Year's End Festival would be getting announced yesterday. So I was like, let's do the announcement the day before it comes out. People don't have to wait very long for it this time. Because I think last time I announced it, we played one song. I'm like, cool, well, we'll talk more in 2 weeks. Because we had a show break.
Yes.
Well, you know, I do like trolling. That was fun. But at the same time, maybe not the nicest thing to do.
You also released the songs on YouTube, and you were playing them. So yeah, it took a while for the entire album to come out. People were getting it like
we shared them through a bunch of different shows.
Yeah.
And this is how our audience is. Lurking Writers already asking for Volume 3.
I mean, they started asking for Volume 3 yesterday.
Well, then you guys need to buy enough copies of Volume 2.
That's the thing.
That's
Buy
really
enough copies for Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Yeah, there's a direct.
We'll give you Volume 3.
When we can afford to do the next one is directly impacted by.
Go Player wants Volume
by
4
selling
already.
the
Go
other
Player
one, yeah.
knows Volume 3 is coming and wants Volume 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm waiting for the remaster on Volume 1. Come on.
Yeah, that's a remaster. Hey, that mastering was done well.
Wow.
Jesus,
Isn't
just
that
like,
how it
ouch.
works? Oh, sorry. No.
You say that about him in his studio?
No. You know that I'm joking because Volume 1 is amazing. And if you haven't bought it yet, you absolutely should. And I am excited to hear Volume 2.
And I think that's a good spot to start. Play the first song off the album.
And this one has the video, right? The video. AKA
no.
the slowest pan out in human history.
It doesn't have the video because that was for a yesterday only thing. So I actually removed it.
Oh.
Why didn't you put that on YouTube though?
Why didn't I put it on YouTube? Oh, because we're gonna have just the full album cover and the production information
And
on
the
screen instead of a 5-minute zoom out that doesn't even show the full piece of art.
Because you said it too slow, I guess.
No, it was intended to show as much as it showed, because the view on Twitch is widescreen, but the art is 1:1. So the chunks at the top and the bottom would have been cut off if I zoomed out to see the full thing, or would have been cut off on the sides, and I just didn't want to do that. So
I will say this: if there's any budding like animators out there or music video people out there, I still want to see a music video made with
track 3.
No, with elements from the game. I mean, why not? You know,
that'd be fun
if it's just for the theme song, because that's rather shorter. Show the game, people dancing around with. I mean, I'm just saying it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you
like
guys
this plan.
for thanks people for joining us on this journey. I know you want to hear some music, so let's play some music. Which, super professionally means us muting ourselves on Zoom and then me hitting play on a song. So let's do that.
All right, time to mute.
Hush, little children, and lay down your head while we tell you a story of unending dread about a creature of fire, a creature at war, a prince among demons, sinister to the core. Listen close to my words now as you snuggle in tight of this two-headed monster who devours the night. Aim your lungs to break free, inflicting horror and pain, and Hethradia seems nothing but destruction to reign. When their gazes turn upon you, it brings madness. There is nothing that can save you from their malice. tell you a story of unending dread.
Oh, that fade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
I just realized that I'm like, oh, I like cleared my throat towards the very end there. And I'm like, oh shit, my mic's live. Sorry about that. Oh
That's
man.
okay.
This is gonna sound like the most geeky of compliments. I want that song in Rock Band so bad.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I just want to jam to that song in Rock Band. It just
We,
feels like
well,
that's the kind of song you want to play along with.
The marketing team was joking about doing a Bardic inspiration karaoke for Extra Life next year. At least until V said that she can actually sing. And I was like, well, wait, hold on.
It just means she needs to go last. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's true. It just means that V goes last. Yeah.
Exactly.
But, because like, it's so hard, because when you're doing a 24-hour Extra Life stream, it's so hard to not get shut off if you do a karaoke thing, because all the music is owned. But if it's ours, anyways.
Right.
Go.
And I realized, since I'm in the studio where I recorded everything, so the guitar solos on these songs are done by Gary Joseph Potter Jr., who is in my band. But at least on this song, I played everything but the guitar solo. So the drums I programmed with a program called Superior Drummer, which is samples of real drummers playing. And then, I programmed in all the beats and the fills and everything like that. But the three guitars you see behind me are like my three studio workhorses that I always use. So, number one, this is a custom guitar from ESP that they made for me. Which is their model is called the Eclipse. Then for like a lot of my heavier stuff, I actually use this Gibson 335. For 1 year, they made the Gothic series Gibson, and then they moved it over to Epiphone, which is one of their other brands. But like this even has a picture of Orville Gibson looking all goth on the back. And then for a lot of the lighter stuff, like the more like articulated stuff, I use this LTD by ESP sort of Strat copy. So yeah, so just thinking of it as we go. And then the acoustic guitars are a combo of Takamine and Martin that I have.
I remember you texting me when you were recording Prince the Abyss. You said something about how hard it was. You were straining yourself, belting out the vocals, trying to record it.
Yeah, because those chorus lines are really long, and it's one thing when we do it, live on Twitch, but it's another when like I want them to be perfect and hold the notes out really long and then harmonize with them. So I have to go back, I'll get everything right and then harmonize with that. And I'm sort of a stickler when I'm in the studio for making sure that there's, that everything sounds right. So I just do it until I get it. I don't really like to use auto tune or waves tune or Melodyne on my own vocals. I will on others' vocals if I'm producing people and like they just can't hit the note and we've tried 20 times. I'm like, I'll work on it later. But on my own, I won't do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Will you play around with the key that the song is in so that you're in a more comfortable vocal range, or do you get an idea for this has got to be in this key? I got to stick with that, and I got to just sing it there.
No, I'll mess around with it, but I'll mess around with it before I start tracking. Like once I make the commitment to track, then I better be sure of that key.
Also, Hethrada for the win.
Yeah, really. I know it took me a while to get that in the studio.
That's why in the song lyrics in brackets the pronunciation is right beside it, because
needed, absolutely needed.
Yeah,
because I remember reading it when I was putting the names of the two for Emil and Hethradya, and I looked it in there. I'm like, I'm definitely writing this out because it just it looked like it was gonna be trouble. I just remember the first time I listened to it, I was just like, I felt like I'm like, It's the 80s. This is me hearing Fear of the Dark for the first time is what this is. At least, like I definitely got that Iron Maiden and very much a Bruce Dickinson vibe from it. So
Good. Yeah.
super
I even
blown away.
sent it to my manager. I was like, hey, you want to hear me do a cross between Iron Maiden and Queensryche? And he's like, yes.
No, it's awesome, and I love the heavy drums behind it. That's amazing. That's just I sink into that so hard. So
Are we ready to hear something new for Lauren?
New for
Yeah.
Lauren.
All right.
new to me.
Doing the mutes.
Started on the wrong foot, on the wrong side of the wagon tracks. The only place I've called home is a place I'm never going back. Headed down the Sword Coast with my dreams all tied up in my pack. Oh, gotta buy my empty pockets, aimless but forever free. Made my way to Waterdeep, got a job placed right in front of me. New friends by my side, we ride toward our destiny. Oh, oh, deal me in, shovel me dead. Deal me in, I'll call you bad. I'm going all in, I'll risk it all. No matter how hard I fall. Ventured out into the jungle, hunting for an ancient city. Tracking down a choking cultist, listening to pirate ditties. Fought away through zombie hordes, it sure wasn't pretty. Oh, life's better with your friends, living on the edge of danger. I wanna live my life at home, with everyone a stranger. I'm only happy when I roam, my life's my biggest wager. Oh, oh, deal me in, shovel me dead. Deal me in, I'll call you bad. I'm going all in, I'll risk it all. No matter how hard I fall. Turning around every corner, never knowing what comes next. Might be on the road forever, on life's endless quest. Pushing ever onward, watching spells and daggers fly. Got an ace up my sleeve, and it's time to roll the die. Deal me in, shovel me dead. Deal me in, I'll call you bad. I'm going all in, I'll risk it all. No matter how hard I fall. Deal me in, shovel me dead. Deal me in, I'll call you bad. I'm going all in, I'll risk it all. No matter how hard I fall.
When those horns dropped, damn. Like I should go
Yeah.
get my alto sax. It's right there.
Nice. That one, it was interesting. Yes, we sort of had a Nathaniel Ratcliffe inspiration when we were writing that. So I'm like, I got to put horns in the chorus. And thing about that one too is the transitions are really crazy between the two parts. It almost feels like two different songs. And when I sent it to Stuart Carreras, who mixed all these songs for me, he was like, I don't know what to do with this. So like we went back and forth a lot on this. But I felt like, it needed to do that. So that's, hopefully everybody likes the decision I made on that.
I love it. I think the first time it's a surprise, and then when the second time it comes around, you're expecting it. It's just joyous, and because it's double time at that point, it's just fun. I love it.
I remember being caught off guard by it when you sent it. I was like, it gets a lot bigger.
A lot bigger.
Yeah.
Crazy big.
It's like you were luring me down an old country road, and then you took a hard right into just this really festive, jazzy, like, it's like, oh, where'd they come from? But the more I listen to it, the more I appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah.
And
those are all, I'm assuming those are all samples for the horns?
Yeah, I had to program the horns. Sorry, everybody. If we had more time and I probably could have gotten in real horn players, but
no, I mean,
we were
samples sound.
First of all, we were keeping it a secret from our one in-house horn player. And,
I mean, but also like for stuff like that, that's perfectly what samples are for, right? Like that's being able to grab that kind of thing for supplements and for a project like this. So, but they sound really good.
We're on a code name budget, not an Activision budget. So I couldn't pay union horn players in LA either.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That'd actually be. I would love to chat a little bit more about what recording music actually costs, because I don't think it's something that people fully grok. It's there's a lot to consider. The little I do know is that there's enough equipment in any given recording studio that turning on the lights and equipment is expensive in and of itself.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure Jason has a lot of really valuable information about like actual recording studios and then that style of recording. And I'd be really fascinated to learn, because I only know about it from the orchestral side, which is a whole other can of worms when you're talking about whole orchestras or stuff like that. Once you bring in a classical musician, a classical recording into a studio, it's about the same. But like, I get asked every once in a while, how much is it to like rent out an orchestra? Oh dear. Okay. But I'd love to hear about like the studio part of it.
First of all, call the one in Prague, right? Everyone seems to use the one over there.
Yeah, or, I mean, LA's got one. There's one in Seattle, so there's a couple of them that you can get, but they're not cheap for reasons. So.
Well, I mean, how many people are in the orchestra?
And that's why people call Prague.
Yeah,
they're a little bit more affordable there.
Yeah, and it's not just that; it's also you're getting a group that are established playing together, so they can sink into a piece really quick because they're already used to playing as a group. But the actual being able to set up an actual recording studio and run that, I'd love to learn more about that.
Oh, Bunny Beast says, I'm sure there's some on Fiverr. I'm sure there are some on Fiverr.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you can get anything on Fiverr now.
What kind of quality? Yeah. We'll see.
Depends on how many fibers you're willing to put down.
Right.
Should we move into Jason's favorite song on the album? I think it is.
Ooh.
This is the one where we keep talking about, like, man, we need to make a video for this. So
I'm excited.
Are we gonna do it?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Let's mute
do it.
And I'll hit the button.
All right.
And you're welcome, audience.
Do you ever wonder why this dungeon floor is so clean? Who maintains this place, keeping it all pristine? There's no debris in here, you can sneak without a care. Only clean shining stone and treasure everywhere. The rogue sees something shiny, he takes off down the hall, and suddenly he stops like he's running to a wall. Gelatinous cube, gelatinous cube, unsung hero of the dungeon, an exterminator of the noobs. Gelatinous cube. Not a single cobweb, and not gelatinous cube. You ever wonder what it's like to find a death so slow? As you're sinking into its hungry depths you go. Your body is engulfed, drowning in the slime. Its acid eats away at you, dissolving you over time. Gelatinous cube. Gelatinous cube. Unsung hero of the dungeon. An exterminator of the noobs. Gelatinous cube. Oh, gelatinous cube. Polyhedron of consumption. And my all-time favorite booze. Gelatinous cube.
I was just digging that echo at the beginning, and then this is the second song in a row that you're like, okay, psych. You thought you know what the song was.
Oh, yeah.
You thought you
Oh,
knew what the
yeah.
style of the song was. Guess what?
And it is funny. Someone wrote, "How has this song never been written before?" And it's true. We did it. Like, this is the Gelatinous Cube song. Somebody
Sure.
needs to make a video for this right away, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Please, fam. Let's make one.
But then we need black and white video of you reciting that middle section.
Yes. And I did. I got way up on the mic, and I channeled my inner Sam Elliott for that.
Yeah, yeah. I just like I could just picture you just like you've got like a black suit on, and like there's just like one narrow band of light that you're in, leaning
Holding
into the
a nice
mic, talking.
whiskey.
Nothing else is visible. Got
Yeah.
some whiskey and a cigarette. Like you're
Yep.
just like, let me tell you what happens when you were eaten by a gelatinous cube.
There's a moment where there's an
okay.
extreme close up of just like your lips and the microphone.
Yeah.
I can picture the whole thing.
So I had this crazy, but I knew we would never be able to afford him. My friend Vicky is actually married to Trace Atkins, and I thought it would be so awesome to get Trace Atkins to do that, right? But I was like, oh, maybe, but then I was like, no, there's no way we can afford him, so I didn't ask. But that was gonna be my one like idea to try to get that to happen. But maybe for the remix we can get him.
You nailed it. That sounded amazing. I don't think we need anyone else for that. Yeah.
I really want an animated video of like just a pixelated gelatinous cube, just kind of like just moving along through landscapes for the whole video. That's
That's
it.
the video. That is the video, exactly.
And then maybe zooming in on some pixelated like fluffy bunny disintegrating inside it as the monologue part is going.
Do we also have the
like-
world's slowest fade out?
Yeah. Yeah. Just gradually going to black the whole time. Yeah.
There you go.
Or the entire time, like in the very beginning, a bunny hops into it, and then it's just slowly disintegrating for the whole video, and then at the very end, it's just bones.
That'd be very satisfying in a weird way. That'd be one of those nice, satisfying videos to watch, and then awesome music to listen to.
Every once in a while, somebody's like, just gets stuck in it, and they're just like trying to get out, and then they just die, floating away in it. It's morbid but amazing.
The whole thing is great, but I gotta give props to the really subtle echo right at the beginning. like you're actually in a dungeon, you're just hearing the song bounce off the walls. It was super effective and creepy. I loved it.
Good.
One thing I want to point out before we should go into another song is when people do get this, there are instrumental versions. I highly recommend listening to them because you'd be blown away by what you don't hear because you get focused on the lyrics or what's being said at that moment, and there's just a lot of depth and a lot of stuff going on. It's just it's awesome. I had a new appreciation, not just for like everybody hears a guitar solo because there's nobody singing during it, but the guitars all throughout and like all the other different musical parts and components and just everything is just it's awesome. So highly recommend. Yeah. Anything else you
Also,
want to
good
say
set of
about
headphones
Gelatinous
help.
Cubes? No, nothing else.
What's
Gelatinous
that?
Cube. Really. Anything else that we want to say about
Oh,
Gelatinous Cubes?
just yeah, I'm really happy how that turned out. I was really happy. So I'm glad that you guys are too, because sometimes you make artistic decisions. We're like, because we write these songs just with an acoustic guitar. I hear in my mind where I think they're going, but I don't know if that, um, what everyone else is hearing in their mind. So
Yeah, I mean, we talk, when I say we, I mean, Chat and the two of you talk when the song is being made about like the style it's going to be in. But I'd imagine once it's going to transform from just an acoustic version into something fully produced like this, that can change and that can expand, and it doesn't have to stay at just the kernel of the idea that you had. So I love that this got more upbeat.
Hmm. Are we ready for track 4?
yeah.
All right,
Let's do this.
let's do it.
Morgan Canaan was a mentor to him, sent him to a mystical plane, learning magic from a circle of 8. Life would never be the same. Always fighting for the forces of good, valorous, stalwart and kind. First to the fight, last out the door. He'll never leave an ally behind. Mind as sharp as his sword, arm as sure as his word. Leading the charge to justice with never-ending toughness. He'll never be corrupted. Milk can always be trusted. Founder, forger, creator of spells. That's why we all remember his name. Acid arrows flying, meteors flying. Each deed adds to his fame. Wisdom deep as an ocean, protecting his friends with devotion. Leading the charge to justice with never-ending toughness. He'll never be corrupted. Milk can always be trusted. Forces of chaos were undone as Milk cast down the minions of Arizona. Heroism was not just a kid as he wielded the spear of Zagic, leading the charge to justice with never-ending toughness. He'll never be corrupted. Milk can always be trusted. Leading the charge to justice with never-ending toughness. He'll never be corrupted. Milk can always be trusted.
It is so good listening to these songs with a good set of headphones, because being able to hear the surround sound helps so much with just all the little nuances. Like I kept just keying in on the guitar on the right. I just loved listening to. I don't know what kind of pedal you had
Cool.
going on there, but it just sounded so crunchy and cool. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good.
Well,
I like
yeah,
that.
a couple people were like, sounds like Hold On Loosely. I'm like, yeah, I totally. I was like, we're gonna make this '80s. You know what I mean? We're gonna go like early '80s rock
Yeah.
for this.
Well, I mean,
So-
that's something I was actually just saying in chat. I was like, this whole album has a more classic feel to it than the last one did. Like, 80s Iron Maiden. People are going to hear some other influences that are also a little more classic, like early 90s, 80s, and even some almost some 70s for some of it. which I loved the first time I heard each one of the songs on it. Like, I don't know, it just hits that nostalgia note for me each time. As soon as it starts, I was like, yes, this era. Thank you.
Well, what's really cool about doing these songs, all of them, is that like I can just be free to, hey, try to keep the spirit of when we wrote them, right? Of what we were trying to do, and then also just, I don't know, like there's no, so when I'm doing songs for myself or for a specific project that wants something done a certain way, I have limitations, right? But when this one, I have no limitations. Just, all right, let's make it sound like this. Let's make it sound like that. And that's been so fun with both of these, and hopefully we get to do more, because you're producing only for the sake of the song, only, right? Like there's nothing else involved other than there's no ego involved. There's no like, well, I need it to sound like me, or I need it to sound like this collection of songs and for this album. It's like, no. It's just, this is the way this song should sound. So that's what's been
Standalone efforts for each one. It's like, all right,
that.
how do we make this the best version of it that it can be?
And a chance to hear different versions of you. I mean, songs that you have created that are in different styles that maybe people aren't used to hearing, and giving you the freedom to perform that way, which is super cool.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I realized this on Monday night when I was when you were doing Miller Music Mondays, and everybody did the raid afterwards, and Luke Gygax was there. I was sitting there, and he was requesting something, and I was like, did we tell him that we recorded Mel's Mighty March? Was what crossed my mind. And then like
I told him.
You tell, okay. And then just now I'm like, shit, did we tell him?
But we should send it to him so he can hear it.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody would be more excited than he was, especially like there are so many lore deep cuts in there, and it was such a fun experience to write it with him. Because like how many pieces of music exist where you mentioned the Circle of Eight, Thera's done. Like
the Spear of Zazgig.
The Spear of Zazgig.
Yeah.
You know, Morden Kanan. Never mind singing it all. Like, but it's just like, you know, and also writing it with him when you know, every story that Luke tells is like, well, this is when I was 10 and I was playing with my dad, and like he came up with this, and it's like, yeah, but you were playtesting 1E, like. You were, he was killing you and your friends in, you know, in this classic dungeon, like whichever one it was at the moment, you know, and he's just like instantly dropping module names. He's like, well, it was either this one or this one, and I'm like, man, I don't even remember those names, and I played through some of them.
Yeah, and he's like, when I came home from school one day, my dad ran me through the Tomb of Horrors. Yeah, he's like, you know, I can just imagine that.
Yeah. So it's just like, I love the. It's just, you know, few, like all of our songs are distinctly D&D, but like few of them feel like really D&D, like the way that lyrics in Mel's Mighty March does, where it's like, okay, you have to be able to recognize some I don't want to say super obscure, but like somewhat obscure, not commonly referenced in modern books D&D in that. So it's very cool.
Yeah, it's a reason to go and do some digging, get some history, you know, or create some new history. Like, I've got this awesome song, and now I want to go forth and figure out what the Spear of Zagig is.
Yeah. And do we have anything else about Mel's Mighty March before moving into track 5?
Someone else said that it reminded them of Boston or Journey. And thank you for that, because those guitar sounds, those early 80s like rock, they're so the guitarists from Boston invented this guitar processor called the Rockman back in the early 80s, and everybody used the Rockman, and so I was trying to emulate that Rockman sound. So if someone picked up on that, I'm glad they did, because that's exactly what I was going for. So thank you.
Someone else mentioned the soundtrack to The Breakfast Club, and I could totally see that too. Yeah.
Yeah. The era appropriate. Yeah, it's good that you're getting just nailing the vibe for these. And this one I think is going to take people on a bit of a trip. At least that's my hope.
Ooh.
So without further ado, track 5. Wait, muting myself first this time.
Open up your mind and be free. No more pain, no more sorrow for thee. At the end of time, the universe is ours. Join us as we sail across the stars. Take our hands, you'll never be alone again. We will be your only friends. Across the march of time, we subjugate the weak and strong. Your mind can't resist, so why not come along? Ever growing, all consuming, no resisting, thoughts subsuming. Exist for us to eat. Hopes and dreams are sour, but fears and doubts are sweet. We relish in your flavors of defeat. Always rising, gaining power, never slowing. Devoured, hive mind, hive mind, hive mind,
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So if you play that backwards, do you learn how to defeat the Elder Brain?
You do.
Oh, that's such amazing Pink Floyd vibes. It makes me so happy. Oh,
Good.
yeah.
For some of you who are listening for the first time, so we'll think of a genre when we're writing it, and so that one was like Pink Floyd all the way when we started. But I like the other things that people picked up on because it's really cool.
Yeah,
A lot of people said
it was one of the ones
interesting.
when you were going into record, like it was an easy choice for us when we were selecting songs for volume 2. It's like, oh, definitely this one. Like there's no question that this is one of the ones. We did a string of just awesome stuff in like a nice long stretch of songs that we really liked when we started doing more songs for monsters and stuff like that. And Hive Mind were like, definitely this one. And you know, just really nailing that tone. The
Yeah, and I got Gary to solo on that too. I was like, man, just give me your best David Gilmour on this, you
yeah.
know.
All
And
those
so,
nice long
brutal.
held background notes that just kind of sit
Hmm.
above everything and are spooky and ethereal and
Yeah.
oh, so good.
Yeah, it reminds me like, and this is like, I mean, I still listen to a lot of like 70s and 80s movie soundtracks, but like when you watch a movie and it starts and it's got music like that, and you're like, man, I miss that we used to do this in films, you know, because it doesn't really happen anymore. Although I guess there was a Pink Floyd cover in that first Dune trailer, unexpectedly.
Was there really this iteration of Dune?
Yeah, the new Dune, when they did a trailer for it to come out last year. So it was like
Hmm.
their big reveal announcement trailer. It was Pink Floyd.
What
But it was
song?
but it was a cover of it. Eric
That's
would
right.
remember because Eric 5 seconds in is like, this is Pink Floyd, because he's like, no, I don't know that I didn't know anybody who likes Pink Floyd as much as Eric does. But yeah, it was super cool. Anyways, like back to this song. I remember
Mm.
is whenever we're putting these together and we select 8 songs, and we're kind of like, okay, like you always have ones that you are more looking forward to hearing, you know, and this was one of the ones for me where I was just like, oh, I'm so excited to finally hear this. And it was, of course, one of the ones that Jason's like, you're gonna get this one among the last ones you get.
Because I have to do that to you.
Yeah, no, it's good, it's good. No, that's what I would do. um, but just really, really, really enjoy it, and just that vibe. Yeah.
Was that kind of the overriding when you're trying to pick what songs we're going to go in? Was it literally just what's our favorite songs, or were you thinking about, oh, you know, let's get some rock songs in here, let's get the variety of songs that we've done? Like how much of each of those categories were you thinking about, or was it simply just what are the two you like? What's the our favorite songs? What's Jason excited to play?
Uh, I think for this one, it was like 2 emails. I sent a list of songs that I thought I'm like, what about these? And Jason's like, well, what about these? And there was probably like 5 or 6 songs that overlapped. I was like, okay, definitely those ones, and then we'll kind of hammer
Yeah.
out the last few. And
Yes,
that's
definitely those six, and then the last two we were kind of going back and forth about.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to remember, Dylan, when did we make these decisions? Because
Oh,
uh, we wrote some great songs right after we had made like right
yeah,
after we made the decisions, right after like Wizards cleared the lyrics, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because that's another thing too, like not to get too under the hood, but because
Because it's for
Wizards have
the
to.
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms game, we do get approval for all. So we
Mhm.
send all the lyrics. We send the our proposed track list and the lyrics and the links to the Twitch VODs in case they want to check any of the songs.
Right.
And like that, honestly, that hurdle has always been easy for us because they're like, oh, cool, yeah, sure. Like it didn't get under as much scrutiny as some of the things that we go through approvals with Wizards, which was nice. Not that they're not paying attention to it, but they're just like, this is cool, do it, as opposed to, oh, you're like when we make PDFs of the Adventures for Idle Champions Presents. They're like, okay, you are very much in our wheelhouse. We're gonna take a fine tooth comb to this, and we're gonna read it all and make sure that it's right. Um,
Whereas for this, I just imagine somebody in an office room somewhere turning off the lights and putting on a good pair of headphones and like, ah, this is my
I would
lunch break.
I
This is
would
the
love
best lunch
nothing
break ever.
more than to see like Chris Perkins reacts to the first listen through, you know, just like
Hmm.
I
chilling
know,
at his
right?
desk with his earbuds in and be like, you know, like it's all I want. But
Just that nod of approval from
yeah,
Perkins.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what they think. I just know that they're like, do it, and we're like, yes. And yeah, we picked 6 or so, and then like we swapped the last few slots around a few times over the last few months. But I want to say like the monster songs were like what, the early 40s for the episode. Um,
Yeah. Someone said in chat it was right we made the decision right before the Omen Drawn and Displacer beat.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think
Before the-
episode
this-
38, Prince of Demons, which has the Demogorgon song, I think that is the most recent episode that had been considered when we did this. It was in the first 40. And at least one of the songs is actually from our first 20. So there's that too. Do you guys have anything else about Hive Mind? Pink Floyd?
It's just epic.
Yeah. It was super cool.
And yes, I Comfortably Numb and Breathe in the Air were two of my big inspirations for production on that song.
I would love to do From the Desk of Omen Drawn at some point, but I don't think we can do that unless it's a joint thing with Ack Inc. and tied to something, because I don't think that would be exclusive to a Bardic Inspiration soundtrack. I think that would have to be something a little different, because it is so distinctly Acquisitions Incorporated, and if we were to ever do that, I would want to like coordinate with them to do it, and then like have them use it for like one of their stage shows at a PAX or something, which I think people would get a huge kick out of it, because that song was a riot, and it was and I have it on good authority that it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Alrighty, are we ready for track 6?
I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I'm excited for it. So
Oh
here we go.
yeah, this was unexpectedly my favorite one on the album. So
I know. I was on an unexpected. Your favorite song on the album was unexpected to me. So
neat.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think I had the strongest emotional reaction to Prince of the Abyss. I was just like, oh yes, like everything about it. But this was one where I heard it and I was like, wow, I really love this. Like really, really love this. And I'm hyping it up too much, so I'm going to mute and hit play.
Okay.
Soaked by winter rains, I stumbled to the gate, seeking out my fortune. I was running from my fate, walking after sunset, searching for the love I haven't had. My days they fade away, but my heart it yearns to stay.
yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So what was that awesome synth going on in the background during the first couple of stanzas?
That's a Koto. So I used Omnisphere. Omnisphere is one of my favorite programs because it has so many interesting keyboard sounds. Yeah, that's one of the Koto sounds. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but yeah, I wanted to add that little counter melody in there.
Oh, it was super cool. I loved that.
There
And I
was,
think
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the other thing that I loved was the in the city of skilled hands. I think most of us who are familiar with that song were probably waiting for that part because I know that's my favorite part of the song.
I think that was your line, wasn't it? In the city of skilled hands, his calluses are kind. I'm pretty sure that was you.
It was your line.
I don't think that's mine. No,
I think it was.
I thought that was somebody else's.
Yeah.
You were there.
Well, now I feel weird.
Yeah.
But no, like I love the transition.
Like that's my
right
favorite
at that
line,
moment.
and I wrote it.
No, I totally thought that was somebody else.
Yeah.
There's
No,
so
it was
much.
you.
No,
There's so
yes.
much that happens when we're sitting in chat and like we're playing off of each other. Like, oh, try this version, try this version, try this
Yeah.
version. So
Yeah. I just I love that where the protagonist character is completely nondescript. Like you know that they fall in love with a male presenting gardener, and that's it. That's the whole song. It's just about the city. It has nothing to do with any epic D&D events. It has nothing to do with anything really Dungeons and Dragons specific, aside from the fact that it's in the city of Neverwinter, and like it's got some callbacks to the settings. But other than that, it just I don't know. It just felt like it really, really nailed that early '90s GNR power ballad vibe, and
a little Steve Vai on the guitar.
yeah. I just
I
pictured.
was thinking
Was
Yngwie
Gary
Malmsteen.
wearing a Slash hat
yeah.
when he did it, or no?
Right.
Yeah, wasn't expecting it to be my favorite one, but after I listened to the album a bunch of times through, I'm like, it's the one that I'm just like, man, I don't know what it is. Like right when everything kicks in, is just so good.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
And then I remember when we were like, what should we name it? Well, we should call it Neverwinter Nights. I'm like, I don't think we can. There's a game called Neverwinter Nights. Let's call it Neverwinter Dreams.
Technically,
Yeah.
a game and a song are two different.
Oh, for sure. But like, I just didn't
Yeah,
want anybody to get them mixed.
sure. Neverwinter Dreams. Then.
Yeah. But it also just, I don't know. It's just it's got a nice full narrative to the whole thing all the way through.
True.
Love it.
This is another song that proves that you're really good at the surprise kick-in, because I think this is another song that you don't expect it to change when it does right after the beginning, and it does, and then it works so well, and it makes so much sense once you get into it. But you have that moment of, oh, I wasn't expecting this.
Well, and I didn't wait long. I didn't make you wait long for that one. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, there's one specific Yngwie Malmsteen album, I think from the late 80s or early 90s, called Odyssey. And Joe Lynn Turner was the singer on that album. And Joe Lynn Turner has one of the most clear and epic voices I've ever heard. If you ever want to hear just like a pure rock singer in like his most purest, cleanest form, he's got one of the cleanest voices ever. Listen to. I know this is very obscure, but it was popular. It was very popular at the time. Yngwie Malmsteen's Odyssey. Listen to that album and listen to Joe Lynn Turner sing on that. He was my inspiration for that song, the vocal performance and everything.
okay, cool. Yeah. Now, before, if somebody wants to Google it, how do they spell Yngwie Malmsteen?
That, you know what? Somebody needs to put it in chat.
I'm pretty sure it's
There we go.
YNGWIE, I think, for
There we
Yngwie.
go.
Malmsteen.
Lurking
Yeah,
Rider
No, somebody's
got
got it. Yes.
Lurking
I just
Rider
remember it
got
being a nightmare. Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those Swedish names, they can be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the name of the album is Odyssey, and it's a great album.
Oh, man.
It's very D&D. It's very D&D. There's even a song on that album called "Riot in the Dungeons." So I mean,
Perfect.
there's
Oh,
some
man.
D&D lyrics.
I know what I'm
going on
looking
in
up at
that.
right after this.
I've got the Wikipedia up right now. I'm gonna just save this for later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal Ball, Krakatoa.
Yeah, Crystal Ball.
Yeah.
Oh
There you go.
Just reading the song titles, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going in my next.
Ingve,
next
how
playlist.
can less be more? More is more. Momstein.
Right, exactly, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like he was like one of the first memes because he's one of the first audio memes. Because apparently, someone spilled a drink on him on a plane, and someone was recording it, and his reaction. I don't. There's expletives in it, so I'm trying to keep it PG. But you just got to look up, look that up. You probably, some of you are probably familiar with it, and if you're not, you're gonna love the audio when you find it. Just type in like Ingve Malmsteen on a plane, and that's all you need. That's all you need.
I'll just play that
accidentally
video
spilled
live
drink
on stream.
him,
Yeah.
and the fury, you've unleashed the effing fury is where it goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh man. I remember there being a
great.
quote where he was talking about like other types of music. He's like, "Oh, I would play that, but it's too easy." just totally, basically shit talking every other guitarist ever.
Wow.
And I was like, "Well, you are incredibly fast, like, so maybe it is too easy for you." Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for one more?
I'm not ready for this one. I know what's about to happen. It makes me so happy.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's mute up.
Let's mute.
I want you to be happy, I want you to be safe. And if we can't be either, then I'll toast you in the grave. I'm hanging with the phoenix as we travel across the land, thwarting odds of evil with the cast of burning hands. So let's take it one problem at a time. If we band together, there's no mountain we won't climb. So gather round the fire, my friends, and sing another line. Let's celebrate together till we all run out of rhymes. And when it gets real dire, I'll deadwood all the things. My friends are like marshmallows, flammable and sweet. I try hard not to burn them when I'm bringing on the heat. So let's take it one problem at a time. If we band together, there's no mountain we won't climb. So gather around the fire, my friends, and sing another line. Let's celebrate together till we all run out of rhymes. Up for travel, I've been to many lands. We can even go right now, just let me grab my pants. I'll follow you to danger and heal you with a spell. If we stick together, everything will turn out swell. Then we'll take it one problem at a time. If we band together, there's no mountain we won't climb. So gather around the fire, my friends, and sing another line. Let's celebrate together till we all run out of rhymes. Jumping through the portals and traveling the plains, always fighting evil and easing all your pains. I'm helping out the heroes and the BOGs, and Monday will be happy and all will be at ease. Then we'll take it one problem at a time. If we band together, there's no mountain we won't climb. So gather round the fire, my friends, and sing another line. Let's celebrate together till we all run out of rhymes. Then we'll take it one problem at a time. If we band together, there's no mountain we won't climb. It's been a lot of fun here, but now it's time to go. I'll come back again tomorrow and be on another show.
I never thought that one of the things I'd want in my life would be to hear the Dropkick Murphys or Flogging Molly scream about their pants. I am so happy right now.
And I love that storyteller Marcia's like, so that's what the haze were for. How could you not know what the haze were for?
Yes!
I didn't tell him which song it was for when I was like, "Hey, we need Haze for the next Bardic Inspiration soundtrack." I'm like, "This is send it to us in this file format. This is the Google Drop like the Google folder for it." And that was it.
Another moment that I was just giddy for assumably no reason whatsoever. Suddenly, Dylan is asking everybody at C&E, "Hey, would you like to record yourself saying 'hey' for a thing?" And I'm just over here going, "Yeah." Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So, and what's really funny is, so I asked everybody. I was like, "Hey, can you ask everyone at Codename to just yell 'hey' for me, and then I'll put that together later." and it's really funny how like some people were like, "Hey," and I got it, and then others were like, "Hey," and then another one was like, "Hey." Like, this is way too sensual. Like those are dipped down in the mix, and the ones that got it were more up in the mix.
Yeah, I noticed for mine, I recorded it a few times so that I was actually shouting, "Hey!" Like, because I was like, the first time I'm like, "Oh no, that just sounds like me speaking."
That's right, and we got Gar to do it too. Gar, I think Gar understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was lucky because I knew what the assignment was. And so I listened to the version that you did on, live for Twitch, and I just hayed along with it. So that helped.
Good. Yeah. And you hate along as Orkira and as you.
I had to. I couldn't help it. I didn't
Oh,
know if you were
great.
going to use it, but I was like, well, if I'm going
Both.
to do this, and then she's got to be in her own song, right?
Right.
This makes me so happy. This is the one. This is the one that I heard like 8 seconds of, and I have been dying to listen to this whole time. So it's so good.
Now you can listen to it as many times as you want.
I'm gonna. I can't wait. I can't wait to drive Luke bananas listening to this over and over and over again and jumping around the apartment.
It's definitely got a lot of energy.
And it does
speeds up 4 times.
It does not go as fast as I've heard you do it live, but I like the speed up. I think I always feel bad when you do it live because it's an exhausting song, but you do such an amazing job at it every time.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure you could still understand the lyrics at the very end, but it does end at 190. I think I started it at 140 and it goes to 190.
Yeah,
pretty
it cranks.
I just want to bring up something that nobody's mentioned yet. Where did that character come from?
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
right? I was just like, let's just make him a drunk, nondescript person from, Britain-ish.
Somewhere in the
Or
UK.
maybe Ireland. Yeah, the UK or Ireland. Let's just make him drunk and in a pub and ready to sing. And then I just went for it, And yes, flogging Molly and Dropkick Murphys were the inspiration for that, for sure.
Or Kira's in a bar somewhere just feeding someone flaming shots, being like, "Oh, will you sing it again?" For no reason. Here you go.
Well, we had you the other day. You did the voice gauntlet. You did that, and Mert, and the other one.
Yeah.
Because we have another one that's
The
super hard
Kobold
now.
Song, right?
The Kobold.
Yeah, Kobold's the Kobold Song, which is fast.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. Because the other thing I like is that for this track list, that is easily the shortest song by a lot. Because it's just over. It's like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It's like noticeably shorter than the
If I sped
rest.
up anymore, the song would be even shorter. So
Yeah.
Short song, lots of lyrics.
Yeah. I see people have expectations of the final song. You should have expectations of the final song. I'm not even going to preempt it. I'm just going to mute, and we will hit play.
Here we go.
Won't you be my friend? One that I'll defend. I got a hand to lend. We'll be smiling through the end. They call me a half-pint sprout, but I want you to know, my friends say there is no doubt that I'm a whole hero. My love for adventure is second to none. So if you come along with me, we'll have lots of fun. Won't you be my friend? One that I'll defend. I got a hand to lend. We'll be smiling through the end. Remember when things get to give you a hug. And when there's a storm outside, we'll be snug as a bug. Won't you be my friend when they're all defend? I got a hand to lend. We'll be smiling through the end. Our friendship is strong and we'll never part. Ooh, saving the world with the power of our heart. Ooh, I'll never say goodbye, 'cause legends never die. Braving the world with our spirits high. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Won't you be my friend when that all defend? I've got a hand to lend. We'll be smiling through the end. Won't you be my friend when that all defend? We'll walk around the bend, a garden we could tend. Yeah.
I gotta agree with the chat that the ba-dum, but in
Ba-dum, ba-dum,
She did
ba-dum.
that.
the most Penelope thing in the most Penelope song ever.
And she only did that once. Like I had her sing it a bunch of times, and then we kind of honed in the Penelope character. And then one time she did the ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. And I'm like, I'm using that no matter what.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's so good. This is the only other thing I was slightly spoiled on, because I did know that Hope sang the song, but I had no idea how it came out, and it's just so perfect. It's so
Awesome.
good. I love the bells. I love the upbeatness of it. I love the whole thing is just great. It's
Oh,
so adorable.
Is her name not on the jukebox?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to check it.
It said should include Hope's name on the jukebox. Hopefully it does. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, we'll have to fix it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay.
There's some folks have spotted some typos too, because it's like
Dang it.
put in the liner notes. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't spot it after I'd proofed it, after Dupuy had proofed it, after you had sent it to him. So I'm like, it made it through several
Oh yeah,
revisions.
we need to add. It shouldn't even say featuring me on that track. It should say featuring Hope. So we'll get that fixed.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's a video game, so it can be there can be
it's,
updates.
it's not a hard fix. It'll just, it's also not a. It'll be a little lower on the priority list than some of the things. Yeah.
Or like
Anyways.
other updates that need to be updated.
Yeah. I mean, it's important, but they're
Hope's name is in the tag. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so it's we got it half right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Hope's day job is mocap. She sings way too well not to be making money from it. I mean, Hope does a lot of things.
Yeah. Hope is
she's
what those of us in the theater call a triple threat.
Yeah, she's a stunt person, does mocap, sings. Who knows?
Now,
what
was
else.
she able to come into the studio, or did she sing from her own studio and
Came into
record
the
and send it to
studio.
you?
She came into
Nice.
the studio.
Awesome.
Yeah, actually, I have a tiny clip. Let me find it really quick.
Ooh.
Oh.
I got to remember. I should have sent that. I took a tiny clip when she was singing. Here, I'll just show it to you guys right now. But
I'm sure it'll.
When that all defend, I've got a hand to lend.
That moment where she drops out of Penelope into Hope.
Yeah.
I missed the cue again. Ah! All right. I'll send that to you right now, Dylan, so you've got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll post that. That's funny. I just remember Hope had posted a picture of like seeing you, and like you were clearly in the studio. I'm like, well, that gives
Right.
it away a little bit.
Well,
But
yeah, we're just hanging out.
then people are like, oh my God, Penelope song. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both live in LA, It's
Yeah.
it's
Well, and I know one of the other reasons everybody loves that song is because you used that cute little guitar on it, and it sounded like it was in there too.
It was in the track.
Yeah.
It was absolutely in the track. How could it not be?
Right?
Yeah. Oh man, that was good. That was fun. This has been fun.
I gotta go listen to it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing.
As
all
everyone
over
should.
again. Yes.
As everybody should, after purchasing it as many times as they can afford.
Yeah, please, so that we can make volume 3.
Would like to make
There's
more
so
of
many
them.
more songs that we want to make.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, thanks, Lauren, for foregoing listening to the soundtrack so that you could join us today.
Thank you for this. This was so much fun, and thank you for your Kira song, because that's gonna make me happy for the rest of my life.
Awesome. I had so much fun doing that one, and because, especially since that was your song, so I gave extra care and enthusiasm to that one, I'd say. To all of them, but everyone was special, but that one was a little extra special for me.
I should probably mention the key art. What I should do.
That epic key art, yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh
I just
my
realized
God.
I'd forgotten
Key art.
to share something, so I'm going to go to a blank screen for a second. They'll still be able to hear
Uh-oh.
us.
Share the key art.
Yeah.
The best thing about the key art, it's epic and gorgeous, and just the perfect thing for the album until you listen to the last 2 songs. And the last 2 songs are like, all right, now that we've had all of this epic, now have a dance party with Penelope.
Look
It's
at
like
that.
a nice denouement.
Yeah,
Oh
true.
God, that's so gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good.
And it's a crop. There's more art. We'll have to make a wallpaper out of it at some point. I remember after the first couple songs were in, and I'd like Prince of the Abyss was like the first one that was finished, and I'm like, and I like pulled Dupuy aside, our live services manager, and I was like, what's Ivy's key art schedule look like?
It's,
He's like, well, we're in a flex week right now that we could do anything. I'm like, let me tell you what I want to do if we can justify the time. And the concept was to have a bard in the Underdark at like Lakeside playing for the Demogorgon, and then like let's make it break, like just enough that you can tell.
with his jester's hat.
And like she came up with like 2 sketches, one that was like direct on with the Demogorgon looking down and the bard, and then the one that we ended up going with, and like just smashed it out of the park so quickly. It was just awesome. So we'll definitely make that into some wallpapers as well. But yeah, anyways, thanks for making time today to do this. This has been fun.
Yeah.
All right, I have one last question for you, because you can get these songs when you buy the album. You can get both the with vocals and without vocals. I mean, with vocals is always better because we get to listen to you. But is there one song on there that you would highly, highly recommend someone give a listen to without vocals for any specific reason?
Oh, No, I guess all of them, because then you can kind of hear the other stuff that we do behind the scenes that the vocals cover up. I mean, I don't have one in particular, really. To each their own.
I'm a big fan of the Neverwinter Dreams instrumental.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing all of them karaoke where no one can hear me sing.
And on that note, thanks everybody for joining us. Mars Guiding Hand is coming up next. I hope you're all enjoying the Year's End Festival and everything related to that. We had a lot of stuff come out in game today, including Bardic Inspiration Volume 2. If you like it, please support it, because we'd like to do more of these. And otherwise, take care, and we will catch you a whole lot this week of streaming, and next Bardic Inspiration next Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.